Hey, what's up? This is UFC lightweight Anthony Showtime Pettis. This is Jake Shields.
Hey, this is still Mr. Wonderful Davis Hollis.
Hi, this is Vito Belfort, and you listen to MMA Meltdown.
Welcome back to another edition of the MMA Meltdown radio show here on Mile High Sports, AM 1510, FM 93.7. You can find our next guest on the UFC 144 card in Japan, EDGAR versus Henderson, Mr. Jake Shields. How's it going, Jake?
Hey, it's going good, man. Just getting up. Nice early morning out here in Japan.
Now, is it when you got a situation like that, when obviously it's going to be one heck of a plane ride, is it better to get there, several days ahead of time so you can kind of acclimate to it, or do you stay where you're at, get as much training in as you in, and then fly in the day before the fight?
It's good to get in probably about 5 days before, so you get all the time to adjust. You don't want to come out too early because it's so different out here. Things are a lot different, but I'd like to come in about 4 or 5 days early when I'm going this far.
Now, I've seen some people, Twitter, the whole age of social media, you kind of keep track of fighters now. Sexyama, you're fighting this guy in his hometown. It's not the first time you fought in somebody from their hometown, especially in Japan. Do you think that this is going to carry any kind of advantage for him?
It's a small advantage, but not a huge advantage. It's always the whole, you get to sleep at home. It's not a foreign land. You have the fans on your side. Of course, it helps, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. I've fought lots of people in their hometown before.
Yeah, because he's saying that he's going to be able to draw power from that crowd. I mean, obviously adrenaline's going to be there, but can you really get that kind of effect from just a crowd?
I think it can help a little bit. It can charge you up, but it also can affect you in a negative way. If you get too excited and start fighting too hard, you can have mistakes. But it's the crowd can help a little bit, but ultimately it's only me and him in the cage, so they can't help that much.
And, obviously it's another big fight for you. You just got over the Allenberger fight, and, before we go any further, I definitely want to, give our condolences to you and your family concerning the passing of your father. For something like that to happen just weeks before a fight, it must have been real tough on you. But really, why go on? You were 3 weeks out. You had a legitimate reason to call the fight off. What made you go out there and take that fight still?
I just, it was a tough choice to make, but I just felt like, I just thought it was the right thing to do at the time. I just, I was a little grieving, and after I pulled out the fight, it would have made it even worse. So I decided just to move forward and go with the fight. It was a tough decision to make, but it's one I made, so I can't, unfortunately, turn my way. But you can't look back and have regrets over it.
Yeah, so it was just something to keep your mind kind of away from the negative aspects.
Focused and try to keep my energy doing something. Because if you're not doing anything, that's when you really get depressed and whatnot. It was tough. I'm sure the energy it probably did drain me a lot having to deal with all that. But I made the choice to fight, so it's have to, I can't look back and regret it.
Yeah, and you've said yourself in a very respectable way, that there is no excuse. You went into the fight, you lost it just wasn't your day. Looking back at the fighter you were prior to Allenberger and where you're at right now, do you feel that you're a better fighter at this point than what you were then?
Oh yeah, I feel a lot better. I feel that was a tough times. I feel a little shook up back then, and I feel like after that, I got back to training. My body feels better as it ever felt. I feel more confident. Everything came together perfect for this camp.
Now, looking at Akiyama's interviews in the past, he's gave you plenty of praise. In his words exactly, he's called you the perfect fighter, but his only criticism of you is that you lacked explosiveness. What do you think about that claim? And if that is true, what are some of the things that you do to work on being explosive in the cage?
Yeah, I've been working on a lot of explosiveness, trying to add more explosiveness, doing types of powerlifting and sprints and whatnot, try to get more explosive.
So is he going to be surprised that you're going to explode on him at one point during this fight?
I sure hope so. That's the plan.
Nice. Now, Sexyama obviously is a high-level judo guy. Were you able to bring any judo guys on his level into your camp to kind of prepare for him?
Unfortunately, I wasn't. I wanted to, but couldn't really think of anyone at that level of judo. It's really hard in the U.S. to find someone at that level. So I was just, I was able to just work with the wrestlers, and wrestling is different than judo, but it has a lot of similarities.
What are you going to do to kind of counteract his judo, do you think?
Wrestling has a lot, I've done a lot of Greco and worked with those guys, so it's similar, it's different, but it's, hopefully he won't throw me, and if he does, I'm just going to I'll scramble right away and try to tap him off the throw.
And remember, fans, to those of you listening, make sure you tune into UFC Japan 144, EDGAR versus Henderson, live from Japan on pay-per-view Saturday, February 25th, 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time here in Colorado. Jake, and I understand as a fighter, you let things go through your head, and you guys see every little detail out 100 different ways. What's the most common way you see this fight going?
I plan on going out there and taking them down and submitting them or tapping them out. Getting them a rear naked choke or an arm bar or just putting them away.
Now we have a Facebook fan question for you, Jake. It comes from Thomas Gonzalez. His question to you is, what was your opinion about your teammate Nick Diaz fighting Carlos Condit and the results of that?
I think it was a close fight. I think Nick, could have done a few things better with cutting off the ring and whatnot. But ultimately, in my opinion, I felt Nick won. He was pressing the whole fight, and Carlos was running backwards. The only effective strikes, he landed little leg kicks, but didn't really land many effective strikes. And to me, I don't think that was I don't think it was a game plan for Carlos to win. But unfortunately, the judges saw it differently.
How much similarity did you see in the way that Carlos Condit handled that fight compared to the way GSP fights?
GSP fights. He goes backwards, but I feel like he's more aggressive still. People criticize GSP, but I think Condit took the whole other level. To me, it looked like he was literally running. It was kind of, it seemed like he had no interest in even fighting. At least GSP is throwing hard jabs. He'll hit in takedowns. He busted Kostrik's orbital with his jab. He's throwing bad intention, and it didn't look like, I don't think Carlos was trying to hurt Nick. He was trying to hit little baby kicks and run away and squeak out a decision. He had no interest of possibly putting Nick away.
And Cenk, as always, boy, I especially appreciate the time you guys set apart from us, especially this close to the fight. Was there any family, friends, sponsors, shout-outs, anything you wanted to give?
Just my whole team. I'm great to have a whole team. All my sponsors. Too many people to thank right now, but just I thank everyone that's been supporting me this whole time and all my fans as well.
All right, Jake, man. Again, as always, appreciate your time and best of luck come Saturday.
Cool. Thanks a lot.